morning everyone, welcome to the latest edition of the Martins Hill Mercury. You can see it's an absolutely beautiful day here today. That is the first one of those we've had this week. We've had horrendous weather. We had 3 inches of snow on the ground earlier in the week. It hammered it down with rain. That melted the snow, and for the first time probably in a decade we actually had the gallop underwater. We managed to work around it and work through it, but it has not made for an easy week. They're all starting to come into a real good bit of form. And aside from a couple at Ludlow where the ground was just horrible, they've all been running well. Started at Sandown, Dublin 4, ran in the maiden hurdle there. Big step forward for him from Wetherby. We dropped him back in trip, stiff 2 miles we thought might be just what was needed, and he ran really well. Owners were delighted to get him into the winners enclosure there, and I think if we can, we'll find somewhere midweek for him. Be very disappointed if he doesn't go close next time out. Jessica Rabbit as well, back on better ground, stepped back up in trip, 2.5 miles around Huntingdon, just bumped into one, finished second, didn't do a lot wrong, jumped really well this time, and again I think that was the product of the better ground. So I think that's what we're going to have to stick to. So your Tauntons, your Huntingdons, places like that where we're going to get a bit of decent winter ground will suit her absolutely perfectly. High point of the week, Derek Donjou winning it down at Exeter. He is a horse that deserves to have got his head in front. He's been placed every single time in handicaps since he was handicapped. But the real problem we've had with him is we just haven't been able to string a sequence of good races together. He's just had niggle after niggle. So this was his second run back now from a little break over the summer. Max gave him a super ride. He's a horse that can come off the bridle, needs just to be given a bit of confidence, a bit of coaxing back into it. Max kept at him all the way up the home straight, got there coming to the last and won going away. It was a boys' race there, so he wouldn't get a penalty if we can get him out next week. There's a race at Catterick at the end of next week we'll look at, but we can see how he is and see what the handicapper does as well. As I say, Ludlow Thursday wasn't quite the way we planned it. Ground was horrible, Torquay, lovely mare, hated every step of it. Callum McBride, it's only his third ride, he gave her a super ride and knew when she wasn't enjoying it and just gave her an easy time in the home straight. And then Ask Henry as well. All the time he was on the better ground, jumped well. When they went through standing water, and actually his jumping just went to pieces after that, and Keelan very sensibly pulled him up. They'll both live to fight another day, and I think on better ground we'll see very different horses. Elk Bridge was another yesterday that actually went the other way around. She went on a softer ground and greatly improved performance up at Newcastle. Ran into the places in the mare's maiden hurdle up there, and I was really pleased to see her jumping well, travelling well, bowling along well. I've always said she's a super mare, and so she's going to prove, I think. Quiet day today. Tomorrow, Cheltenham, Sammy Lou. Goodness knows what he'll make of the ground. He's really, when he was younger, he was a better ground horse, and the soft ground there probably won't suit. But he's grown up, he's a lot more settled this year. We can only wait and see. It's a good opportunity, it's the boys' race, and again, so Max takes the ride, takes £3 off his back as riding for his own yard. So fingers crossed for there. Win or lose, it'll be a fantastic day out for the owners, certainly. So looking further forward into the week, we are still trying to find a race for Anderleep on the flat. He's got a rating that's £3 below a band, £2 above another band, and we cannot just get him into a race. The all-weather at this time of year, obviously it's competitive, there's nothing on the turf for the flat horses, and so there's plenty still just seeing out the end of their season on the all-weather. Fingers crossed we'll find a run for him though. He was not beaten far last time out, and I'd love to end the season for him on a high with a win. We've got Miss Katniss. She'll be having her first run over hurdles for the racing club, hopefully at Warwick on Wednesday. She's been schooling well. She's still a little bit weak, and I think she'll just need to strengthen up a little bit, but it's exciting to have her out. Benton's Lad, the other racing club horse, fingers crossed he gets a run as well. He's in at Wincanton at the end of the week, and there's a race for him at Huntingdon next weekend as well. Telsome Barley, he's in middle of the week. The handicappers put him up another £3 for standing in his box. The horse that beat him up at Kelso came out and won again, so that's frustrating. Still think he's well capable of winning off his current mark though. We've been schooling him up over fences as well as over hurdles. Fingers crossed we can get one more run over hurdles, win, and then go novice handicap chasing with him. Cafe Blanco is another that you should see out this week. He's in the Veterans Chase Wednesday. There's also a little race from at Ascot on Friday, and there's a couple for him next weekend as well. We're just trying to find the right race for him, so I think we put him in the right race. He should run very, very well. Wasn't beaten that far into second on debut at Wetherby. Big one next weekend for us. Ask Ben in the Betfair Stayers up at Haydock. He's in great order. He's been away for a gallop. We think he's well. Obviously for him it's first time in a handicap because he was running in novice company last year, and we'll see then whether he's well handicapped or not. But it's just fantastic to see him back out on the track. Really looking forward to it, and as far as he's concerned, let it rain all week. One that we didn't run this week was Homing Star. She was in at Southall. We took her to Southall, walked the track. It was when we found a shoe pulled off in the mud from one of the early races. We just thought this is not going to suit her down to the ground. It was sticky, holding, tacky ground. So we pulled her out as a non-runner. She's got an entry at Market Raisin now next week, which hopefully, look, if we get a dry week there, that would be a good place for her to go. Another thing we're doing this week, the 3-year-olds, the 4-year-olds that have all been out for a break, just 3 or 4 weeks or so, they'll all come back in. The weather's now turned, so they're not really getting much benefit from being outside. So everything comes back in, a week or so on the walker, then a saddle back on their back, and it'll be exciting to see them progress.